What is up, everybody? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys with my buddy Dallas Stewart as we get ready for the NFL Week 3 game picks. Dallas is on the speakerphone. Say what's up, Dallas.
What's going on, everybody?
Yep, and we're ready to drop you guys the Week 3 picks. It was an alright week for us last week on our picks. How many did we get right? Dallas won the split last time. For the Philadelphia versus Falcons games. So Dallas got the split this week. So, we did I don't think it was our best week last week. Would you say, Dallas?
No, not really.
All right, but we're hoping for a better week this year. First off, we got Oregon versus Washington State NFL edition. Oregon Ducks versus Washington State Cougars NFL edition. We got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars on Thursday Night Football. Marcus Mariota, obviously, from Oregon, Heisman Trophy winner, taking on Gardner the Mustache Minshew on Thursday Night Football in Jacksonville. Tennessee coming off of a big disappointment, losing to the Indianapolis Colts and Jacoby Brissett in Week 2. Jacksonville coming off of a boneheaded mistake by Doug Marrone to not kick the PAT and force overtime against the Texans after Minshew led what almost could have been a comeback, but they should have gone to force overtime and could have won it in there. But this should be an interesting one. And you already know the reason why we say Oregon Ducks versus Wazoo Cougars NFL edition, because of where the two quarterbacks go to. But I'm siding with the one with the little more experience, and of course, I'm kind of tripping a little bit, but I gotta take the Tennessee Titans in this one because Mariota's a little bit more experience, and I gotta have them bouncing back, and who knows? But I would like to see Minshew possibly try to see if he can pull out his first NFL career win as a starting quarterback. But I gotta take the Tennessee Titans in this one.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Titans to bounce back and get to 2-1. They're gonna be angry or frustrated after losing to Jacoby Brissett last week. So I have them beating the Jags and the Jags falling to 0-3.
So we got Oregon winning this. So we both have Oregon winning this one. Yep, like we mentioned, Oregon versus Washington State NFL edition on prime time on Thursday night. All right, up next, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dallas as well. I think Miami has a real possibility to go at 16.
And plus, the Dolphins did just trade Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they're in full-blown rebuild mode. And possibly tanking and most likely tanking for Tua or Trevor Lawrence.
I'm looking at the line right now in the paper, and the line says Dallas by 21.
Yeah.
That's even more than what New England was favored by. That's a huge spread.
Yeah.
I bet they cover.
I bet they do. Up next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Buffalo Bills at home. Finally, Buffalo gets to stay home after back-to-back trips in the first 2 weeks to MetLife Stadium, beating the Jets by 1 point and beating the Giants by a little bit more than what they had the first week. Cincinnati's coming off of an 0-2 start after losing by 1 point to us and getting pistol whipped by the 49ers. I think with this one though, is this a toss-up for you?
I gotta go with Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to take Buffalo too because
Cincinnati looks so horrible after that really competitive game against us where, honestly, we kind of survived. They looked so horrible last week. So I got to go with Buffalo to get to 3-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills too. I like the way they've been playing. They got their offense going with Josh Allen's legs, Frank Gore, and don't know who the other running back is. They got Cole Beasley and John Brown making plays. So Josh Allen's off to a good start, and I got the Bills getting the 3-0. All right, up next we got the Detroit Lions taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. Philly coming off of that loss on Monday Night Football where they basically just let Julio Jones get open, and Jones dusted them for that late touchdown to give them a lead, and Philly couldn't convert on that fourth down play to Zach Ertz when they needed it most. And Detroit Lions coming off of a surprising win over the Los Angeles Chargers 13-10 in Detroit last week. But I'm going to have to go with the Philadelphia Eagles in this one to bounce back and get to 2-1. I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to have a bounce-back performance after that tough, losing in the last minutes at Atlanta. I like them to get to 2-1 and try to keep pace with the Cowboys in the NFC East.
Yeah, that's kind of an obvious one there too. All right, up next we got the New York Jets versus the New England Patriots. We know the story. Last time when we picked them, we had no idea that Sam Darnold had mono. Trevor Siemian got knocked out of the game, and Trevor Siemian's done for the year, and now they have to turn to former Washington State Cougar Luke Falk. And the worst part about it, he has to face his idol. And I remember hearing that during Luke Falk's last Apple Cup. He idolizes Tom Brady, and he gets a chance to face his idol. But the Jets are going to be 0-3. New England in another blowout. I am taking the Patriots again.
Yeah, the Patriots are going to steamroll the Jets. Wait, is Simeon really out for the year?
Yeah, he broke something in his ankle. He's out for the year, and they have to go with Luke Falk.
The Jets are going to have a top 5 pick this year.
Yeah, sorry, Gangrene David, man. I know how you feel.
The only games they actually have a chance to is the Dolphins twice, and then they play the Giants. So maybe 3-13 for the Jets.
Probably. All right. Up next we got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. Falcons had that big bounce-back win on Monday Night Football against the Eagles, and although Matt Ryan did throw 3 interceptions, and I think a couple of them were in the red zone, but then he was able to hit Julio for the big one, which would turn out to be the game winner. Indianapolis, which led by Jacoby Brissett, led a surprising victory over the Tennessee Titans last week. But this one's a little different. This one's way different. I don't think they can hang with Atlanta. I am going to take the Atlanta Falcons getting to 2-1. I'm taking the Falcons.
Yeah, I like the Falcons to get their second straight. I think the Colts are going to have a bit of a letdown after a big division win against the Titans. So we both like the Falcons in this one.
All right. Up next, we got the Oakland Raiders taking on the Minnesota Vikings at US Bank Stadium. Oakland had a major letdown, getting beat down by last year's MVP Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Minnesota had a big letdown against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field, where Aaron Rodgers did his thing. But obviously, Minnesota tried to keep it close, and Green Bay challenged a non-call on an offensive pass interference, which basically took off some points, and it resulted in holding them to a field goal. I think that's what happened in that game between Minnesota and Green Bay. And we all know what happened to Oakland, but Minnesota got that good defense, and Kirk Cousins has freaking Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen. The Raiders have Tyrell Williams and a couple other guys I can't remember most of the other names on there too for the Raiders, but I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings at home. I got the Raiders having another loss. I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings as well after that tough loss at Green Bay.
Yeah, basically that's. Up next, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens. Kansas City, as we mentioned just earlier, big win in Oakland. Baltimore barely was able to squeak away from Arizona, but Arizona kept that game close. Baltimore has a really good defense. Kansas City, high-powered offense with Mahomes having weapons like Travis Kelce, and one of his rookie receivers just went off. And I know they don't have Tyreek Hill. Hill was going to be out a few weeks, but Kansas City's still Kansas City. Mahomes is still playing a high-level football. And like you mentioned, this was a week that we were going to see. I think, like we mentioned, I think Baltimore, not sleeping on their defense, and Lamar Jackson's off to that really hot start, but I think Baltimore's going to get handed their first loss of the year. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I gotta go with Kansas City as well. They're just so tough to beat at Arrowhead. And this is the first real challenge that
Kansas City's playing in Baltimore.
Oh, it's Kansas City at Baltimore?
Kansas City at Baltimore.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought the game was at Arrowhead. Yeah, but I still have to go with Kansas City. This is Baltimore's first real challenge of the year.
Yeah, Baltimore almost pulled it off last year in Arrowhead, though. Who knows what the outcome will be this time now that it's in Baltimore. But my signs are pointing towards Patrick Mahomes coming out again on top. I mean, the guy's just doesn't know how to go to a slow start. He always starts out fast, and he's still winning it throughout the year. All right, up next, we got the Denver Broncos at Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay coming off of a home win against the Minnesota Vikings, where Aaron Rodgers just was able to put up enough to beat the Vikings, and the defense was able to hold them out enough, even though they gave up a big touchdown run to Dalvin Cook and a big pass to Diggs. Denver, a freaking heartbreaking loss to the Chicago Bears last week. We almost got that pick wrong, and somehow, in a way, Denver took the lead in under a minute to go with a touchdown. They got called for, I think it was a delay of game, or I forgot. They were going to go for two originally, and then they got forced back and had to kick the PAT for the field goal, but he missed it. But then basically Chicago jumped offsides, giving them back the position to go for a 2-point conversion, and then they were able to get the 2-point conversion, and then Chicago got the ball. And then Mitchell Trubisky was able to lead a crazy under a minute drive. One of the plays, he got hit by Bradley Chubb, which forced a roughing the passer call, which basically saved the timeout. And then they had to try to get into the field goal range. And Trubisky throws his bullet. I forgot who caught the ball, but then he hurried, and he was just able to get the timeout off with just 1 second to go to set up Eddie Pinheiro for that long 50-some-odd yard game-winning field goal, and Pinheiro just nailed it to break the heart of all the mile-high Denver fans in that stadium. That was just a crazy finish, and I thought that was the game of the week last week. But give me the Packers at home. I think the Broncos are going to be 0-3. I am taking the Green Bay Packers.
I'm taking the Packers as well. They're just so... I think they're kind of on a mission to prove the doubters wrong, and I believe they're going to win the NFC North and make a deep playoff run.
Yeah.
I think everybody's sleeping on them.
Yeah.
And I say that's not very wise.
No, it's not wise. It's never wise. Dallas, and you've heard me say this before in the past, it is never wise to sleep on Aaron Rodgers.
No, the last 2 years have been very disappointing for them, and I think they're out to prove everybody wrong this year.
That they're no fluke.
Yeah.
All right. I think we got our first toss-up game with the way these two teams have been going. Up next, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Arizona Cardinals. Carolina surprisingly 0-2, losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home to Jameis Winston, surprisingly. And Arizona, they were able to hang in there with Baltimore. Kyler Murray is looking like he's for real, and he is not to be slept on either, too. This one, to me, is a toss-up on this one, though, too. But the Cardinals are at home. Cam Newton's been playing hurt, and he was not able to get the ball in the end zone at all last week. And they were able to limit Christian McCaffrey, although McCaffrey got a couple of big runs, but they were able to hold the Panthers out of the end zone, which was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a toss-up one. I'm going to let you go first on this one.
I do think Cam Newton, obviously Cam Newton has the experience, and obviously Carolina is coming into this a very desperate team already at 0-2, losing 2 at home. I'll probably have to go with Carolina just because I think that they're a more experienced team, more experienced veteran team. So I gotta go with Carolina to get their first win.
Yeah, I am leaning a bit towards Carolina only because Cam Newton's a little bit more experienced. But don't sleep on that young man, Kyler Murray. He's trying to hang with the best of them, and he's definitely one guy that we are not gonna want to sleep on come week 4. So all right, so there's a circle on Carolina. All right, this is the one coming up next. This is interesting. Up next, we got the New York Giants taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want to give a quick shout out to my man Kid Blue RB27. I was just on his live call in. He's probably, I don't know if he's still live right now, but I called into his call in to get his thoughts on this because the New York Giants today officially named Daniel Jones their starting quarterback. And he was looking pretty good in the preseason, and he was looking like he's ready to take the reins and become the starter. The Giants are 0-2, and they may have now just picked the best time to make the change to starting quarterback. Tampa Bay is obviously coming off of that big win against the Carolina Panthers, and Jameis Winston was just, he was able to play a good game. That defense was able to keep Carolina out and perform a good game, getting all those sacks on Newton. But I think this week will be a little different, and I like the young kid. I think he's ready to go, and I'm gonna take the New York Giants getting the win in Tampa Bay. I'm gonna take the Giants. Dallas?
I'll probably have to go with Tampa because they're going against a guy making his first career NFL start. So I gotta go with Tampa to get 2 in a row.
3 straight weeks with a split.
Yep.
But something though, keep your eye out on Daniel Jones too though. Let's see how he does, because remember how good he was looking in the preseason too. Even he did play with some starters too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna take the Giants. You're gonna take the Buccaneers. So let's see.
Split.
Let's see who wins the split this week though.
You won it week 1 with the Raiders.
You won it week 2 with the Falcons, and the only other reason why I mentioned why I'm picking the Giants is obviously because of how hot Saquon Barkley's been lately too.
Yeah, but I still think the Giants, they might be in the running for the number 1 pick too, with them in Miami. And maybe the Jets.
But what if Daniel Jones gets some winning though?
We'll see how the experiment works out. It's a sad state in New York football right now with the Giants. Is this the end of Eli Manning's career?
Yeah, it is truly in that, but
it's tough. And for him, it's probably tough, but for the fans who brought him 2 Super Bowl victories.
Yeah, his greatest one will always be Super Bowl 42.
Is he just at the end of the road? Does he just not have it anymore?
Who knows? But I think the Giants may keep him around to mentor Daniel Jones, though, which I think would be the smart thing to do, other than trade him off. Which there could be a chance. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Pittsburgh will trade for him. Maybe the Jaguars will make a trade for him. Teams that need a quarterback. Maybe New Orleans. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? It'll be interesting to see. But other than that, I got Giants, you got Tampa Bay. All right, our game. Up next, we got the Seattle Seahawks and the New Orleans Saints in Seattle. I will be at that game. I will try to film as much as I can. I do need to get that new extra portable charger for my phone and that too. So I don't know how much filming I'll get. I will charge some of the other portable chargers I got and get some good game footage for you guys. Me pumping up the players, but I hated to see what happened to Drew Brees last week against the Rams, where he got hurt, because I love when we have our matchups against Brees. It's been great couple of matchups the last few times we play him, and Brees he's just a great quarterback, classy quarterback. I did a video about that, but and even regardless of what happens, I'm not sleeping on the Saints at all, because they got that defense with Cameron Jordan, Marcus Davenport, they got Marshawn Lattimore in the secondary, and then of course they got Eli Apple in there too, which in the offense they're still going to have Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, and they got Latavius Murray in the backfield too. Who else they got out there? Oh yeah, Ted Ginn. But we're coming off of a big win, couple of big wins in the past 2 weeks, winning by 1 in week 1 and winning by 2 in week 2. But we're going to have to face Teddy Bridgewater. I'm not getting cocky, but I do know for a fact we have to take advantage. We have to take advantage at home. They're without Brees for 6 weeks, and we just got to take advantage. I'm going to take the Seahawks winning at home. Give me us at home.
Yeah, ever since the injury to Breeze, we caught a huge break because had they had Breeze, I probably would have predicted a loss.
Yeah, I was thinking about if they were to have Breeze, that this would have been, to me, our first loss of the season.
But I just don't think Teddy Bridgewater can come in here and beat us.
And what?
But I'm not. The Saints still have a very talented team. They still have playmakers on offense and defense. I just believe the crowd noise is going to get to Bridgewater, and we are 2-0 against Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, do you want to flash them back to the last time we played Bridgewater?
Well, it was
the Blair Walsh game.
Blair Walsh miss in the freezing cold in Minnesota, the 10-9 game.
Yeah.
And we also beat them in the regular season that same year in Minnesota outdoors, 38-7.
Yeah, and
when he was starting for Minnesota.
And that infamous Blair Walsh missed kick game was the last ever outdoor game ever played in the NFL history. I mean, last ever outdoor in Minnesota outdoor NFL game in Minnesota NFL history ever since they played at the old Met before they moved into the Metrodome and then built US Bank Stadium. That was the last game ever outdoor in Minnesota before they got US Bank Stadium.
Yeah, and it looks like the forecast is going to be like what it is outside right now, very dark and gloomy.
And it's
raining.
raining.
The weather's going to play a factor for a team that plays indoors. And I just think that crowd noise, that 12th man crowd noise, the home field is just going to be too much for Teddy Bridgewater to handle.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get overconfident and say we're gonna smoke them because I know that they still have a very talented team.
Yeah, we cannot sleep on this team regardless, but we got Seattle winning at home. Up next, we got the Houston Texans taking on the Los Angeles Chargers in LA. Houston barely squeaked away, stopping a dumb, boneheaded move by Doug Marrone's Jaguars to go for the win and go for two in Houston last week when Houston beat the Jags 13-12. Chargers had a major letdown versus the Detroit Lions in Detroit last week in Detroit. It was just a bad letdown game, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in this one. I mean, this time the game's in Los Angeles. The game's at Dignity Health Sports Park, and I know Chargers are pretty pissed about that. And Deshaun Watson, we know how he's got his weapons in that too, but he's still taking sacks in that too. And we know how good that Charger defense is. But I'm gonna take the Chargers at home in this one.
I gotta take the Chargers as well to bounce back after a close, tough road loss at Detroit. A low-scoring game as well. Houston. I probably thought they should have beat Jacksonville by a lot more. I mean, they were playing a rookie backup quarterback,
Gardner Minshew.
So yeah, I gotta go with the Chargers to get to 2-1.
All right. Up next, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Pittsburgh lost Ben Roethlisberger for the year in our game, which we may have seen his last ever game in the NFL, but Mason Rudolph does look promising for that team. Obviously, he's going to have targets like Juju Smith-Schuster, James Washington, Vance McDonald. I don't know if James Conner is going to be back next week because I know Conner sustained an injury in that game. And we know they got a good pass rush, too, with Cameron Hayward and T.J. Watt. And they just added Minkah Fitzpatrick to their secondary. And San Francisco, we all watched them beat the crap out of Cincinnati. Jimmy Garoppolo's been able to hit his big-time receivers like Goodwin, Dante Pettis, and then, of course, George Kittle. And they're off to a good start, but they haven't really played a good team yet. They haven't really played a really good team yet. But I'm going to have to take San Francisco at home in this game against Pittsburgh.
I got to go with San Francisco as well to get to 3-0 heading into their bye week. The Steelers this season's a wash, and Mike Tomlin's going to have his first losing season, I believe, but he's gonna get a pass. I just don't think they're going to fire him. I mean, he's going to have to overcome a lot this year. I mean, they're two playmakers from last year. Their star receiver and their star running back, they're gone. So,
and now their quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to get a pass for this year.
And then
the Steelers are in for a long season.
Yeah. Do you think, though, last week, though, was the last ever game? Well, did we see Ben Roethlisberger's last game last week?
Roethlisberger says he wants to come back and play next year. But I don't know how wise that is. He's going to be 38.
His body's starting to betray him.
I mean, when do you think his last good year was?
I do not. I don't know when it. I do not.
I think his last good year was probably the year that they upset the Chiefs on the road in the divisional round and ended up losing to the Patriots in the AFC Championship. So, he threw for 5,000 yards last year.
Yeah.
But he's past his glory years are done though.
Yeah. All right. Up next, Sunday Night Football. We got the Los Angeles Rams at the Cleveland Browns. We all watched Cleveland win in a cakewalk over the New York Jets. Odell Beckham Jr. caught his first touchdown as a Brown last night in, of all places, MetLife Stadium. Los Angeles Rams obviously knocked Drew Brees out for 6 weeks, and Bridgewater couldn't get it done against them. And Jared Goff has Cooper Kupp back. Todd Gurley had a touchdown in that game. Brandon Cooks with a touchdown, and Goff with a quarterback sneak. The Rams are still rolling. I gotta take the Rams getting the 3-0 in Cleveland this week. So I gotta take the Los Angeles Rams.
I hate to correct you, but not the Los Angeles Rams knocked Drew Brees out. Aaron Donald knocked Drew Brees out.
Yeah, that's what I should have said too. Aaron Donald knocked Drew Brees.
Pretty much that one guy. The Rams are going to knock the Browns down a peg. The Browns aren't going to be playing a third-string quarterback this time.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that one. It was Aaron Donald.
They're going to give him a reality check, kind of like how Tennessee gave him a reality check in week 1.
Think so?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, what if Myles Jack, though, does go off, though, for that defense?
Myles Garrett?
I mean, that's what I meant to say. Myles Garrett. Yeah, Myles.
That's one player the Seahawks have to watch out for when we play Cleveland.
Yeah, and obviously we got to watch out for Aaron Donald, since now Aaron Donald's hurting throwing the hands now.
Aaron Donald doesn't do the same thing to Drew Brees. Hopefully he doesn't do the same thing to Wilson.
And Baker Mayfield this week, though. Yep. So we got LA winning in Cleveland. Finally, Monday Night Football. Chicago Bears versus the Washington Redskins. We already talked about how the Bears barely squeaked out of Denver with 1 second left in a field goal. And then the Redskins were up for a little bit, and then Dallas just came in and took a dump on them, giving Washington a reality check. But I think it's going to continue to get worse for the Redskins. I think the Redskins will be 0-3 after this one. Give me Chicago winning good on the road in Washington. I'm taking the Chicago Bears to get to 2-1.
I gotta take the Bears to get their second straight. I'm not sold on Washington. They look like they're gonna be bad this year. This could be it for Jay Gruden.
Yeah.
He hasn't made the playoffs since 2015. I think his days are numbered in Washington.
Probably. And that's basically it for our game picks. So we got the Tennessee Titans beating the Jacksonville Jaguars in Oregon versus Washington State NFL edition. We got the Dallas Cowboys smoking the Dolphins. We got the Bills beating the Bengals. We got the Eagles beating the Lions. We got the Patriots blowing out the Jets pretty handily. We got the Falcons beating the Colts. We got the Vikings beating the Raiders. We got the Chiefs handing Baltimore their first loss. We got Green Bay handing Denver their third loss. We got the Panthers winning against the Arizona Cardinals. I got New York. I got the Giants. You got the Buccaneers in a split. Our third straight week with a split. We got We got our Seahawks winning against the Saints. We got the Chargers bouncing back against the Texans. We got the 49ers beating Pittsburgh. We got the Rams giving Cleveland a reality check. And then last but not least, we got the Bears winning on Monday Night Football. And that is that for our Week 3 game picks. So let me know your guys' picks in the comments. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. Appreciate you guys coming in here to check me and my buddy Dallas doing our game picks and giving our thoughts and who we think is going to win in Week 3. And you know the rest. Thank you, Dallas, for coming on. That was fun.
Yep, as we are entering Week 3, some teams are starting to get a little dicey for some teams, as their playoff hopes are already starting to dwindle after 2 weeks.
True that. And we had a little fun with our Week 1 pick with the Oregon Ducks versus Wazoo Cougars NFL edition with the battle of Minshew and Mariota. You know we had to do that. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, if you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.